Hello, and welcome to Government with Dr. Turner. Today we're going to take a look at the events and political motivations that led to the colony's split from England. The New World had a lot of people competing for control, including the colonial superpowers like the British, the French, and the Spanish, as well as the people already there, the Native Americans. We can look at this as a political struggle. Who will get what, when, how? Great Britain was forced to compete with France and Spain for dominance in North America during their early years of settlement. But Spain always had trouble finding people who wanted to be colonists, and the French rarely established colonies, choosing instead to trade with the Native Americans and annoy the British and the Spanish. England took control of North America from France and Spain in the 1700s because its military and economic power was greater than Spain's. The dominance of England was established through military victory in the French and Indian War. The English colonists saw victory in the French and Indian War as a great opportunity. Barriers to westward expansion had now been removed. But for England, the war had been a huge drain on resources, and they wanted to tax the colonies to rebuild their treasury. These competing goals put the colonies and England on a collision course. The end of the French and Indian War changed relations between England and the colonies because the colonies felt they no longer needed English troops, but the English wanted the colonies to pay for the war. The unpopular taxes the British imposed on the American colonies were meant to pay for the debt created by the French and Indian War. What followed was a series of escalating taxes and events that ultimately led to shots being fired between colonists and British troops at Lexington and Concord. The narrative in favor of revolution was passed by word of mouth in the taverns and churches, but not everyone supported the idea of breaking with England. Early colonists came to America for a wide range of economic and political agendas as well as for religious and philosophical reasons. Many of them were happy to be British subjects. Others, like women, blacks, and those without property, were excluded from political life because in the mid-1700s, property ownership was required to vote in England and the American colonies. The goal of the Declaration of Independence was to convince everyone that breaking away from England was the right thing to do. The Declaration was written by Thomas Jefferson at the age of 34. To make his arguments to the people of the colonies, Jefferson turned to the writings of John Locke. Colonial leaders relied on John Locke's political philosophy because it contained both a theory of revolution and a theory of constitutional government. The only area where Locke's writings broke down was equality. People could look around and see that equality among men did not exist. But when he argued that all men are equal, Locke meant that men are naturally equal. Society quickly establishes many dimensions of inequality. Locke frequently wrote that we are endowed with the rights of life, liberty, and property. But when his ideas appear in the final version of the Declaration of Independence, Jefferson has altered it to read life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Why the change? Some suggest that Thomas Jefferson might have changed John Locke's argument for government protection of property to the pursuit of happiness because Jefferson was trying to gain the support of those who had little property to protect. It is also true that for Locke, being able to gather riches and property without government interference was the pursuit of happiness. Let's review. Early colonists came to America for a wide range of economic and political agendas as well as for religious and philosophical reasons. The goal of the Declaration of Independence was to convince everyone that breaking away from England was the right thing to do. Colonial leaders relied on John Locke's political philosophy because it contained both a theory of revolution and a theory of constitutional government.